Hey everyone, I'm out here in the garage today, and what I thought I'd do in today's video is talk about a very basic tool that just about any DIYer should have, and that's stud finders. So stay tuned. So before I bought my house, I lived in an apartment for a while, and so I had this little basic stud finder here that I would use to find studs in the walls because I didn't want to make a bunch of holes in the walls and then have to patch those holes later on because I couldn't find the stud. So this one here is a Zircon. This is a stud sensor. It's a very basic tool. It's used generally for finding studs in the wall only. That's the only thing it will do. Once I started doing work around my house, once I acquired my house, I decided to step up to a different stud finder, and that's this one here. This is the Zircon L550. And I'm going to talk about this one a lot in this video. So this is not going to be an in-depth review of this tool. I'll just get into that right away. Normally, as you know, what I try to convey in these videos is that when I do tool reviews, I want to do it from a level where I'm actually doing a lot more research and I'm stepping through the tool and looking at all the different features of it. I'm not going to do that with this tool today. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the features, and then I'll also talk about some of the ways that I use stud finders and some of the issues that I've run into when I've used stud finders. Alright, so I mocked up a little wall we can play with. So it's 16 inches on center, and we've got some conduit flowing through right over there. And then we've got also our den shield that's acting as our drywall. So if you are curious about the den shield, this is part of the bathroom remodeling project, and yes, I am still working on that project. I have a lot of footage that I'm going through right now, so I hope to have a video out within the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. So I'm going to try out the stud sensor first, and what I'm looking for is to see if it'll find the wood studs in the wall, and also to see if it'll pick up any sort of metal in the wall. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Go ahead and put that on there. Calibrate the tool, run it across here. So you can see as it lights up, it senses where the stud is in the wall. Then the lights go out as it clears that stud. Alright, so let's try the Zircon stud sensor on this metal conduit here that's acting as our wall stud. Go ahead and put this up here. Calibrate the tool. So as you can tell, it was able to consistently pick up the metal stud in the wall. So if you just need to pick up wood studs or metal studs in the wall, a device like this one, a really simple device, will work pretty well. Alright, so let's take a look at the Zircon L550. Now as you can tell, this one has a digital display, so quite a bit different tool than the other one. It's got 4 modes on it. So again, I am not doing a full review of this tool. I just wanted to kind of give you some ideas as to some of the tools that are out there that you could use for sensing objects in the wall. So this one's got 4 modes: stud scan, deep scan, metal scan, and AC scan. So let's start with the stud scan mode. What that will do is scan to about 3/4 of an inch down inside the wall and tell us if something's there. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. We're going to do it on this stud right here. So you'll see as I press the button, a lot of things are going to flash on the screen, and I'll explain some of those, like I said, as we go along. This is not a full review. So right up here in the left-hand corner is signal strength. And you got center, edge, and metal. And as we run across the wall, you'll see certain things show up on the screen. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. And this is about the pace that I like to run it at, about this pace. If you go too fast like this, you can't pick it up, of course. That's really not a good speed. And if you go too slow like this, that's a little bit too slow also, I think. So kind of about this pace is good. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Okay. There's edge right there. There's center, about where I put my screws. And there's the edge again. You can probably see that right there, edge again. Okay, let's come back this way. Yep. So pretty accurate. Very accurate tool in terms of sensing wood studs in the wall. Now we're going to move on to our metal stud over there. Alright, so let's take a look at the L550 with regard to metal studs in the wall. So we got our conduit once again here to act as our metal stud. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. And what I'm doing, there's a button on the side right here that I'm pressing, by the way. And I'm still in stud scan mode. So you can see edge, center, and then edge again. All right. All right, so yeah, the L550 in stud scan mode was able to easily pick up a wood stud and a metal stud in the wall. All right, so I put a second layer of drywall up here, and what I'm going to do is use the stud sensor by Zircon to see if I can find the studs in the wall. I'm suspecting it's probably going to have a little bit of an issue with that just because of the thickness of the drywall. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Yeah, it looks like it can barely find it. All right, so not very reliable at all in this case. And we're going to move on now to the metal stud. All right, so let's try it on the metal stud now. So that's pretty interesting. It's able to find the metal stud a lot easier than the wood stud, and it's probably because it's metal and it can sense it a lot easier. All right, so let's check out the deep scan mode on the L550. Now, I did use that mode recently because I was putting up a handrail in a house that had lath and plaster walls, and trying to find the studs in those walls was extremely difficult. So I used the deep scan mode. That actually gave me a pretty good indicator as to where the studs were sitting in the wall. I did have to scan it multiple times though to really feel confident. And then once I found, for example, an old nail or something, I could go off that and sort of guess where the next stud would be. I was hoping it would be 16 inches on center or 24 inches on center, but it didn't really seem like it was always the case. But we ended up getting the rail up. I think we made one bad screw hole, but other than that, everything went pretty well. So I would try the deep scan mode in a situation like that, see if that'll work for you. So let's go ahead and give this a shot here. Okay, so we're getting our center mark. We're only getting 2 bars though. That's a little bit interesting. The deep scan mode is supposed to scan down to about 1.5 inches in the wall. So I'm kind of confused as to why we're only getting 2 bars. I thought we would get 3 bars, but maybe that's just the way it works. All right, so let's try the deep scan mode on the metal stud. All right, so it is able to pick it up. Again, we got 2 bars instead of 3 bars, but it did tell us where the center of the stud was in the wall. All right, so let's take a look at this tool in metal scan mode. So metal scan, what it'll do is it'll find any metal in the wall up to about 3 inches deep that are ferrous metals. So that means any metals that are magnetic, like that one. Any non-ferrous metals, it'll find those up to about 1.5 inches deep in the wall. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. I've got this one obviously right at the front of the wall, so it should find that pretty easily. Let's go ahead and try this out. That's pretty interesting. So what it's doing is finding the metal about right here, it's sensing it, it looks like. And then as you cross over it, it's got probably about that range of scanning that it's doing and finding the metal in there. So not the most accurate thing I would say, but at least it's telling us a little bit about the proximity of where the metal might be in the wall. All right, so I thought I'd play with this some more. I've got the metal conduit right here. It's about 3 inches back in the wall, and I'm thinking it's probably going to have a tough time finding that. So let's go ahead and give it a shot though. Yeah, I can't pick it up at all. All right, kind of what I figured. That's probably a little bit past its threshold there. All right, so I've placed the metal pipe at about 1.25 inches deep in the wall. I'm going to try this again in metal scan mode. Just play around with it a little bit. All right, so as you can see, it does approximately tell us where the metal pipe is in the wall, so take that for what it's worth. I think that's good enough though. And the last mode we're going to play with is AC scan mode. So what that will do is it'll look for live AC in the walls up to about 2 inches deep. So I've got a cable right here that is not live. We're going to see if it can pick that up. And you notice right there, there's a symbol for AC scanning. And as expected, it did not pick up the cable, so we're going to try it on a wall that actually has live AC. Alright, so I picked a wall where I knew there were some electrical lines. There's no doubt about that because we've got the electrical panel right here. So I'm going to run the tool across the wall. Alright, so yeah, it was pretty easy. It picked up everything that's in this wall over here without any problem. Alright, so there you have it. There's a brief look at these two stud sensing or object sensing devices that I use. Now, this one or a device like this one is probably what I would look to buy because it does look for metal studs, it looks for wood studs, and it also look for metal in the wall and AC lines that are live. That's a very important thing to find when you're doing a lot of DIY projects around your house. So hopefully this information was helpful, and thanks for watching. See links in the description below. Comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check us out on social media. And thanks for watching.